The yield keyword will basically allow you to return a special kind of list from a function. Now that special kind of list is called a generator, and I'll show you what that means exactly. So here I've created a simple example. This is a function called createGenerator. And the first thing I do in this function is I create a list called myList with values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then I am going to loop through my list, and then for each of the values in my list I'm going to yield value plus 1. And I'll show you what this is going to do. So first things first, down here I'm going to call the function, assign the output to a variable called myGenerator, and then I'm going to print that variable. Then I'm going to run the Python file. And so when you print the variable, all you get is just the fact that this is a generator object. But to see all of the values that are inside of the generator, you need to loop through it, pull all the values out, and then print the values. So I do a simple for val in my generator down here, print val. And that should give us some better output. Here we go. Okay, so the output of the function up here is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 because all I did was loop through and I added 1 to all the values in my list. So yield is basically a way for you to return a generator from inside of a loop that's inside of a function. Now here's the catch. I said that the yield keyword will allow you to return a special kind of list from a function, and then I said that that special kind of list was called a generator. So what's the difference between a normal Python list and a generator? Well, a generator is a special kind of iterable object that you can only loop through once. And here's what that looks like in practice. If I were to try to do the same thing that I just did again, where I loop through the values in my generator object a second time down here, this is what the output would look like. It would look like a whole lot of nothing because we've already looped through the generator once, so all of the values that are inside of that generator are now gone. You can only iterate through a generator once, and then once you go through it once, all of the values are gone. And at this point I think I can hear what a lot of you guys might be thinking, which is, well, if that's the case, why in the world would I ever want or use a generator when I could just use a simple list and then I'll be able to loop through it as many times as I want to loop through it? And the answer to that is optimization. Generators do not store their values in memory. They generate values on the fly. This comes in handy when you have a function that's going to return a massive set of values that you only need to read once. That being said, if you don't care about your list of values being stored in memory, here's how to rewrite the function we've been using so that it just returns a simple list. And that's at the bottom here. I'm going to uncomment this code. And so basically this function is going to do the same thing, except it's going to append all of the values plus 1 to an empty list that we specify up here, and then outside of the for loop at the end of the function we're going to return that list. And then I'll comment out the generator code so that we just get the output from the list code. And then down here I do the same thing. I'm going to call the list, I'm going to assign it to a variable, I'm going to print out the variable, and then I'm going to loop through all of the values that are in that list and then print the value out at the end. I should get the same values, 2, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to do that right now. And there we go. Okay, so there's the output. You can see now we have the list as output to our function. So this is if you don't want to use the yield keyword, you don't have to. You can just return a list. But if you want to use the yield keyword, then I hope that this has been helpful. Thank you.